cigarette ash on here.
Welcome back. Tonight we saw Marvel Studios' Black Panther. Connor, what is the plot of Black Panther?
Black Panther takes place shortly after the events of Civil War, and T'Challa is becoming the new king of Wakanda after his father was exploded in Civil War. He is briefly challenged, but ultimately he proves himself to be the true king. Meanwhile, the plot begins by Claw and Killmonger, who stole a piece of vibranium from a museum, and for some reason they stole it. I'm not completely sure. I mean, I guess it's like vibranium, so they can sell this shit for a lot of money. Then they get in a big fight with the general from the Hulk. What's his fucking name? General Thunderbolt Ross goes for it, and Thunderbolt Ross gets. They end up capturing. They end up capturing fucking Claw. Claw is like hardy har har, you know, he can't do shit. And then they end up fatally wounding CIA guy. They take CIA guy back to Wakanda. Claw is broken free by Killmonger. This is when we learn that Killmonger basically... Well, Killmonger kills Claw. This is when we learn basically that he's the cousin to T'Challa. Thus he's able to basically challenge T'Challa for the throne. So that's what he does. He challenges T'Challa for the throne, beats T'Challa, becomes the king of Wakanda, kills T'Challa as they think, but T'Challa is saved by these Eskimo African people. And then T'Challa comes back. There's a war between the faction of people that are teamed up with T'Challa and the people that are teamed up with Killmonger. And then the fight somehow leads to T'Challa and Killmonger being in the vibranium mines, where Killmonger gets wounded fatally, basically. And basically he's like, we was kings and shit, but then we were slaves by the colonists. So fuck your shit, I'm gonna die. And then he dies. So Aiden, what did you think of Black Panther?
5 words. This generation's Godfather Part 2.
6, 7 words.
No, that's 5. I counted out.
This generation's
Godfather Part 2.
I mean, if you put Godfather together,
it is 1 word. Anyway, this movie's a steaming pile of fucking shit. It's yet another remake of Iron Man. Marvel always follows the same formula, but there are 2 movies in particular, including Black Panther, that follow the formula so much that they can essentially be considered the same script, slightly retooled. It's Iron Man is the original, Ant-Man is a very blatant clone, and Black Panther is a clone that is disguised to not be a clone. And this movie is a pile of garbage on so many levels that it's baffling that this movie has the reception it does. Actually, it's not. People give it good reviews because it's about black people. I'm gonna come out and say it. It's not racist to say it. This is Black Iron Man, and people are dick sucking it down to the base. Not just down to the base. They got the balls in the mouth, they got the balls under the tongue, and they got the head of the dick all the way in the back of the throat, because it's Iron Man with black people. And there's no easy way to sum it up besides literally the last 30 minutes of the movie come down to my suit's better than yours, Tony. Like, they have the exact same costume, the exact same powers. The only difference is that Killmonger's suit has a little bit of gold on it instead of blue. And then in the end, just like Iron Man beat Ironmonger with the freezing problem, where he flies up too high and Ironmonger freezes and he says, "How did you solve the freezing problem?" This is, "How did you solve the magnetic train tracks turning off your suit's ability to block knife blades problem?" And it's so fucking derivative. Like, all the Marvel movies follow the same formula, and this one actually escaped one of the traps of the Marvel movies where it wasn't a quip fest.
Yes, it was. There were so many quips in this
There was
movie. What are you
quips,
talking about?
there was quips, but it did not even come close to Age of
No,
Ultron
not like
bad,
Age
where
of
every
Ultron,
second
but
was a quip.
They were fucking there, and they were there at inappropriate times.
But they fucking, it's like, this is the exact same script as Iron Man, modified and recycled. Instead of taking over a business, Killmonger takes over a country. They both have the same suit, they both have the same powers, the villain is defeated in roughly the same way.
1v1 hand-to-hand death match.
It's a derivative piece of trash. And they try to hide it as some sort of cultural movement because they put all this social justice politic bullshit in it, where every time they talk about white people they call them colonists and bullshit like that. And it's just embarrassing, really, that people are falling for this, because it's a bunch of fucking white Jews in a boardroom getting together and saying, what kind of shit can we market to black people easy? And they're making a movie about black people, and black people are eating it the fuck up. And Kevin Feige, written by a white man, produced by 7 white men in business suits. It's a fucking product. People are acting like people are calling this the most important movie ever made because it's a fucking generic piece of fucking cape shit Iron Man clone. It's not some fucking groundbreaking documentary. It's not a documentary about the fucking current day slave trade in Africa. It's not a documentary about the fucking goddamn, I don't give, it's not a real fucking expose. It's a fucking movie about a fictional country that somehow makes a magic space rock. Black people should be fucking offended, because the movie essentially says the only way black people will ever be successful is if a literal magic meteor falls from the sky and gives them superpowers. Because everyone else in Africa is fucking suffering. And Wakanda is doing great because of a literal Deus Ex Machina fucking magic meteor super rock that fell from the sky and gave them the ability. Somehow they turn a super meteor metal into fucking hover cars and shit and spaceships. The smartest man in the world, Tony Stark, can't even come close to the technology that they Deus Ex Machina out from a fucking magical glowing space meteor.
Iron Man's suit has become so fucking retardedly OP in recent movies.
It's pretty overpowered, but Iron Man hasn't created a fucking magical city full of hovercrafts and fucking... New York still drives regular cars. New York,
I guess,
has... Literally, Wakanda is the most advanced civilization ever. Tony Stark can't even begin to scratch the surface of the technological advancements they've made simply because of magical rocks. Like, it's essentially saying that black people can't do anything on their own, and the only way they'll ever accomplish anything is if a magical rock falls directly on top of their heads. And it's patronizing. It really should be patronizing. And on top of that, I think everybody's going to miss the irony that Black Panther, for 99% of this movie, is Donald Trump. He wants closed borders. He wants to protect his people more than anything. He wants to not give aid to anybody who's outside of his country, but help the people of his country be wealthy. He's essentially Donald Trump up until the very last minute.
But then he learns.
And then Killmonger is the stereotypical Black Lives Matter. He's a fucking commie. He wants to kill all police. Like, Black Panther fights for justice and law and order. And Killmonger wants anarchy, communism. He wants black people to kill all white people. He wants to enslave all the whites and kill them all and hand out guns. I mean, black people are going out and they're championing this movie as some sort of black miracle when it's made by a bunch of white people and goes against, I mean, these people should be supporting Killmonger because he supports the point of view that these kind of people go for. It's also, it's a corporate product that people have been tricked into believing is some kind of social movement. And it's embarrassing. It's frankly embarrassing that this is the state of the world where people are so butthurt about a fucking presidential election that they think a goddamn piece of shit Iron Man ripoff cape shit is the most important movie ever made. It's embarrassing. It makes me want to shoot myself in the brain. It makes me, you know, sometimes you watch a Columbine documentary and you relate more to the shooters than the fucking victims, you know?
What does that have to do with? What does that literally have to do with a superhero movie?
But anyway, this is a boring, generic piece of cape shit like everything else that has horrible leaps in logic to make the main characters look so advanced and smart. This movie is 1,500 miles of fucking corkboard. It's fucking tacky. Everything that happens in this movie is tacky. When fucking Killmonger decides he'd rather die than go to prison because prison's run by the fucking white people and
he wants to be
white
dumped
people
in the ocean so he can be with his slave brethren who were enslaved
it's so fucking
by the
tacky.
whites.
It feels like a bunch of white people got together in a boardroom and said, this is what black people are gonna like, and then they made it. People are buying into a fucking cheap product made to sell fucking cheap action figures made in China as some sort of amazing social movement, revolution, fuck Donald Trump, fuck dumb shit. The best thing that could possibly happen to this planet would be the extinction of the human race because our IQ is progressively slipping into the mid-60s on average. And the human race will kill itself soon because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that people think that this movie is anything more than average. This movie could be called average at best. The best compliment I can give it, and it's not a compliment, is fucking derivative. It's another fucking remake of Iron Man. It's the same shit as Ant-Man. It's another fucking remake. As far as it goes, the soundtrack was pretty good. Not the physical soundtrack, which was just full of TDE stuff. Some of the songs in that are okay, but there was one moment where
pretty good album.
T'Challa goes to he drinks the drugs. He drinks the LSD potion, and he sees his dad. And the soundtrack in that moment actually made me feel things, which is a first for Marvel movies. I wouldn't call it memorable, but I would call it well done. Where they had like this really nice orchestrated piece. Nothing in the Marvel movies is fucking memorable. And there's a few moments of nice visuals. They use color really well in this movie. The scenes where Black Panther was going up against challengers on the waterfall were really nice visually. But it's also blended with these terrible, terrible moments of CGI. Horrible moments, especially that final fight scene. You can find a lot of that on YouTube. Looks like a goddamn PS2 game. There's a couple moments that shine in this movie. Black Panther versus Killmonger the first time, where they're doing it hand-to-hand on the waterfall, was really nice visually. And the scene in Korea where they're fighting in the underground gambling hall. They attempted to do this one-shot thing where they stitch scenes together with kind of mediocre CGI. But it works well enough because it feels fluid. The soundtrack was pretty good. Some of the visual stuff was good, and other of the visual stuff was really, really fucking rough. You can't even really comment on the story because it's a derivative pile of shit. And the part where the rhinos come out in that final battle reminded me a lot of Battle of Five Armies, which is not a compliment because that was the biggest pile of shit I've ever sat through. 2.5 hours of fucking wasted time based on less than a paragraph of book in a 186-page book because fuck you, you fucking piece of shit, greedy motherfuckers having to split a 186-page book into 3 fucking movies to the point where you have to make up an entire fucking movie worth of content. But instead of pigs, I think the dwarves rode on pigs in the Battle of Five Armies because that movie was fucking stupid.
I remember, I shamelessly
they ride on
slept
fucking
through that
rhinos.
movie.
But there's so much stupid crap in this movie. I'm supposed to believe that a meteor full of metal allows people to make blankies that they wear on their shoulders that make giant Overwatch shields and shit. It breaks my suspension of disbelief, and that's coming from the same universe as fucking goddamn Thor. I find it more believable that the ancient Norse, that the fucking ancient Norse gods are based on space aliens who walk across a bridge of literal rainbow. That's more believable to me than blankies that make Overwatch shields and fucking nanomachine super suits that absorb energy. And this movie's an embarrassment. This movie is a fucking pile of trash, and people dick suck it simply because it has black people. And you can call me a racist if you want, but this movie is average at best and a fucking derivative piece of shit at worst. Connor, what'd you think of the Black Panther?
Well, Black Panther was pretty much the same thing as every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It was a Dixie Cup movie where you watch it once and you throw it in the trash. I made a video yesterday about how Marvel likes to remake the hero into a villain. I made like one passing statement about how Black Panther and Killmonger looked kind of similar. Even though I do want to point out in the comics, I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan. Admittedly, haven't read very much Black Panther. Never heard of Killmonger being anything like Black Panther. Could not find the evidence online that suggests that they were as similar to the point where they were literally clone characters. But I made this whole video on clone characters, and everything I said in that video basically applies, where Marvel thinks it's for some reason a good idea to clone the hero as a villain because it looks cool. I mean, they did it in Iron Man with Iron Man and Ironmonger. Incredible Hulk, they did it. Incredible Hulk versus Abomination. Iron Man 2, Iron Man fought Iron Man, Drones and Whiplash. Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America fought the Winter Soldier.
Iron Man 3 fought Extremist guy, and that was pretty much the same thing as Iron Man. He shot lasers.
Sort of. But Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron. I mean, at least that was slightly different. Plus Mandarin was the fucking
fake out.
The fake out for the whole movie, which was retarded, but that can be its own deal. But you have Avengers Age of Ultron where he fights Robo Iron Man. Ultron's not even Ultron in that movie. He's just Robo Iron Man, of course. Why not? See, you know, Marvel decides that who cares about the... Well, of course, Ant-Man Yellow Jacket fight. That's probably the most heinous copy, where Ant-Man is literally just the Iron Man movie. Obadiah Stane, the fucking becomes Yellow Jacket. That movie literally just blatantly copies the plot to the point where it's like, if you've seen Iron Man and you have the IQ to remember a film that established a universe that people constantly dick suck and make fucking articles about every time, oh, look at this picture of Iron Man, and it's like Tony Stark sitting there, or fucking Robert Downey Jr. sitting there with like a Starbucks coffee, like, you know, it was a hard day at work today, and they're like, wow, you know what this tells me? Tony Stark likes fucking Starbucks, probably. And it's like, none of this bullshit's gonna be in the 2-hour movie, you fucking brain dead
better
retards.
than yours. Insert character name here.
Yeah, basically. But these fucking brain dead retards like all these crappy fucking movies, and they never can see the correlation. They can never see the blatant correlation. This movie has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than 2001: A Space Odyssey, The
Godfather
Part 2, The Shining, pretty much every fantastic movie you can think of has a better Rotten Tomatoes score than. And what this boils down to is a watered down Iron Man with a bunch of, if you're white, you should feel guilty for existing references. And it's like, the moral's not even that fucking good. Like, fucking, we get it. All you were trying to do is get the black audience and stand for something. But I know Kevin Feige's pasty ass is the one that made the movie. So I'm not that impressed. And then, okay, let's look at the logic. I mean, Black Panther takes some suspension of disbelief as it is. Yes, Wakanda's like some advanced African nation. Sure, I can get over that. But a lot of the stuff in this movie, like Aiden said, was retarded. The Overwatch shields. The fact that Black Panther's sister makes literally all of the technology in this. She has made technology that puts Thomas Edison to shame, the amount of invention she's made. And for some reason, you know what really pissed me off? Like, okay, this movie stands for something. This movie's such a big thing. It's so important, even though it was made by a whole bunch of white people in a boardroom. Okay, and they're this reclusive nation, not even the CIA can know about anything. So why the fuck does Lexus have vibranium cars? Oh wait, it's because the fucking blatant product placement. It's so fucking ridiculous that you can't even follow your own message. You can't even have integrity in your own film that's supposed to have this magical message, to the point where Wakanda's like, we can make one deal. And T'Challa's like, the smart deal would be with Lexus because I like those cars. Very nice cars. So they let the Lexus representative in, and he's like, look, if we make the car out of vibranium, then you get in a super cool fight chase, which is the only logical reason you'd ever use this. And then they're mentioning these hover bikes and shit later. It's like, why aren't you using these hover bikes? They sound pretty cool. Said you're outfitting fucking Lexuses with vibranium fucking shielding? Like, come the fuck on. It's just a bunch of brain dead retards that can actually fall for this as a social message. So once I see the Lexus thing, I can tell that the story and the rules of this universe don't matter. So we can throw all that bullshit out the window. There were the cool moments, like I think the hand-to-hand fights were cool. The plot's bones were a good idea. The problem is the execution. Claw should have been the main villain. We should have thought he was the main villain. You know, pull an Iron Man 3. If we're going to steal plots anyways, might as well steal the plot of Iron Man 3. Except instead of killing Claw like halfway through in like this insignificant little scene, even though he appears to be the main villain, make him last to the end. This is exactly how you do it. Killmonger takes over the throne the same way he did. Claw and Killmonger and Black Panther are fighting in the war at the end. Right before they go down there, Killmonger shows up, Claw shows up, gets the upper hand over Black Panther with Killmonger. It looks like Black Panther's fucked. Oh no. But then all of a sudden, either bodyguard lady or his love interest lady shows up and kills Claw and says, like, Black Panther, go! And then, like, somehow they get kicked down into the subway and the rest goes like normal. Make Claw more important. He just fucking dies and it's like, alright. And it's like, you might be saying, well, that's Killmonger's ticket into Wakanda. No, it isn't. The fact that he's fucking Black Panther's cousin. He could have just walked into Wakanda.
Literally the only thing he
could have just walked right into Wakanda. Yeah, he's got the lip tattoo. So we know that it's all G. He could have just showed up, showed his lip tattoo, said, I'm the cousin. Black Panther's like, oh shit, that sucks. Because Black Panther learned this independent to the Claw thing. The audience and Black Panther learned this independent to Claw's death. So that's unimportant. So he could have just said this. They could have been like, nah, it's not true. Then Black Panther could be like, no, it's true. I just heard about this by coincidence literally 15 minutes before the man shows up. Then they're like, oh shit. And then they get in the fight and the movie goes as it did, except Claw is actually important. It's like every good opportunity to change it up, but in the end, then it just became, my Black Panther suit's better than yours, T'Challa.
How did you solve the magnetic train tracks turning off your suit's abilities?
I made it in the video I made yesterday. I made the joke with the Jesus thing where all of them have the clever callback to where, the callback and then where, you know, they blatantly set it up for like 30 seconds at the start. They're like, well, if your Black Panther suit per se was to get on the subway, then it would be neutralized in the fight. Then T'Challa even calls it out right before he goes down. He's like, I think maybe my suit and his suit as well will be neutralized, which might give me an advantage in the fight because this is something I know. Then they hop down there, and then Killmonger's like, I hate white people, T'Challa. And then they get in a fight, and then the fucker gets stabbed, and it's like, okay, congratulations. So at the end of the day, I don't take this movie's message seriously. It was all a huge fucking ploy. Like, if the Ghostbusters movie, the female Ghostbusters movie, had the same marketing idea, they had the same marketing idea as the female Ghostbusters movie, but Black Panther was just passable enough if you completely disregard Iron Man and Ant-Man, that you can completely just be like, it's okay. I give it a pass. I understand what they're going for. So it's good, and then reviewers will watch it and say, well, it has this black person message. I don't understand why these reviewers like it this much. I don't understand why reviewers dick suck it so much.
Because if you don't,
I wish I didn't understand it, but in reality, I know it's just because either you're gonna be a black person that's pro for this because it has the pro-black message, or you're an apologist that just does it because they feel guilty for being white or Asian or not black in general. And this isn't something that I should have to apologize. As a moviegoer, I should be able to enjoy this. I think black people should have a movie they fucking enjoy watching. I think there should be a Black Panther movie, but I think there should be a good Black Panther movie. I think there should be a good hero that stands on his own without copy-pasting another fucking movie's plot to make these black kids like these characters, to make them have somebody to look up to. Sure, have a character they look up to. I fully support a Black Panther movie. I don't support when you copy-paste the same bullshit, shove it down my throat, and try to resell it to me with all your fucking product placement in it, pretend you have a message to it, but in reality, you're just making a whole load of bullshit that you want to do to sell fucking plastic action figures by Hasbro, and then you get these fucking retarded fuck reviewers that can't fucking do fucking basic algebra, go ahead and say, well, my IQ might be 60, most people call me brain dead retarded, but if you don't like the Black Panther movie, you're racist. That's the only reason I can think of, because this is the most original movie, there's a black person in it, why would anybody think this movie sucks? If you don't like this movie, you're a big retard.
Look at that fucking Irish guy. That Irish guy's complaint was that the movie didn't have enough action.
I didn't even really agree with the Irish guy's complaint, even though I think the movie's bullshit.
It's a complaint you could make because it didn't have a bunch of explosions.
Had a fair amount of action.
I thought it did too. I expected a lot less, but
I expected less because of the guy's review. I think the guy's review.
The guy had an opinion, and people have spent the last 2 weeks giving him death threats,
giving him hell,
threatening to kill him.
I was gonna make a video on it, but I'm just exhausted.
His entire life has essentially been ruined, and he'll be branded a racist for life because he didn't like a shitty fucking clone of Iron Man.
Yep. And the thing is, I want to point out that this isn't what I expected going in. I knew there would be like the clone element, and I just kind of memed on it. But this was exactly fucking Iron Man again. The only difference is you said country instead of company. That's the difference. And you put all this like, oh, white people should feel sorry for what they did to black people. Even if you've had nothing to do with slavery and nobody alive today has had a single slave, when it comes to the United States, the primary fucking...
In Africa.
In Africa, yeah. No, I'm shocked fucking T'Challa wasn't whipping people in his...
I'm surprised he didn't have an army of child soldiers. Coney 2018.
But clearly there's a wealth discrepancy because everybody else except him, he's living in this fancy palace with the most high-tech technology
rhino milker
on planet Earth, and everyone else is a fucking rhino milker. I also like when they say lines like, look at those people with their infidel weapons, the stupid, weak guns that make no sense. And then they're like, alright, let's just fucking pointy stick it. It's like, okay.
So uncivilized.
Yeah, it's like some straight up so uncivilized shit. Like,
so embarrassing.
This movie makes me embarrassed. It's just like, You guys gotta know better. They cheaply disguised an Iron Man clone. And they tricked the media. They fucking tricked them. Literally, what is it? I can't even imagine. Upper 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
97. Top critics is 100% because they booted that one lady off of being a top critic so that the top critic score could be 100%.
Like, it's fucking sad. It's really fucking sad that people are falling for this movie. I think black people deserve better. Maybe they'll make like a Black Panther 2 or a Blade or something. Or watch the Luke Cage TV show or something if you want a black superhero.
Luke Cage.
Or Static Shock, that original TV show, the cartoon
Hitchcock.
back in the day was pretty good. Don't watch Hitchcock. Handscock.
iRobot.
Handscock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
iRobot.
No, you don't got a good plethora of black superhero movies. But I'm saying this as somebody who can look at this movie objectively. I wouldn't go into this movie saying, wow, take that, white people, now we have our superhero.
They're not
and he's
white
the
people,
best
they're
one of all.
colonists.
You know, he's the best one of all, even though he's just a fucking clone of Iron Man with less charisma. Robert Downey Jr. is 100 times more likable than Black Panther because Black Panther was horribly rewritten. This is Iron Man's story rewritten with a completely different character. Black Panther could have been super likable in a similar story if, like, the bones of the story's there. All you have to do is change a bunch of things, fucking make the meat of the thing, and you have a good story. And I don't think the performances in the movie were necessarily bad. At least I thought
The main
Michael B.
characters
Jordan and Chadwick whatever were pretty good.
I thought they were good, but a lot of a bunch
And
of people
the guy from Fargo who played Bilbo Baggins as General Ross was pretty good too.
But
I enjoyed him.
The fake African accents were obnoxious, and I wouldn't have noticed it as much, but that guy from Black Mirror, he was in the first episode of Black Mirror, the guy who plays the rhino milker, he's British, and in Black Mirror he has a British accent. In this movie he was like, I can do fake African accent, I just pretend I don't speak English. It was like, what the fuck? The fake African accents were far too much. Why would a country that has never had, it's never ever 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 had contact with the outside world, why would they speak English at all? And two, why would they pick up African accents? They should have a completely different accent or no accent because they have no access to the outside world or didn't for thousands of years. But they have the stereotypical, me so black, me no speak English, me pick the cotton accents. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
Disney are the real racists.
I'm going to continue with another point that Disney wanted to pull on the heartstrings. Like at the end when Black Panther buys the entire project, I'm like, it's like, okay, the project building where Michael B. Jordan's father died, which made Michael B. Jordan completely evil for some reason and somehow give him the skills to be a mercenary, unexplained, just like, apparently Black Panther's entire family is just such a kangs and shit that they're the strongest mercenary in the world, the strongest superhero, the best tech manufacturer, and a lineage of kings. Like, wow.
And that one handwritten book left by his dad.
There's not a single character in this movie that's not a Mary Sue, hero or villain.
Yes.
Michael B. Jordan was just beaten because there was a bigger Mary Sue in the movie. That is the sole reason he was beaten. Because, was he trained to be a superhero? We don't really learn this.
I like how that one handwritten book, that one single handwritten book written in like type 42 font has enough information for Killmonger to not only become the greatest Wakandan soldier ever, but track it down, learn all of its traditions, all of its rituals, become the king, understand everything about the technology. Like, literally, that would have to be the densest fucking Bible tier dense book ever, but it's like 17 sheets of type 42 font that just has all the history of Wakanda. Like, it's not the history of Ethiopia, people eat sand, it's the fucking history of a fucking country that has literal spaceships. Tony Stark does not have spaceships, but Wakanda has
yes, he
no, the fucking shield. The fucking shield helicarrier still uses propellers. These use literal magic jets that are powered by fucking moon rocks. It's literal magic.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know, man.
It's not even consistent. It doesn't make sense. Tony Stark should have been able to develop this fucking technology if these fucking... It doesn't make fucking sense.
I mean, they had the special moon rock, and he doesn't. And the sister is arguably the best technology creator ever born.
Yeah, IQ 4,000.
For no fucking reason.
She makes Rick and Morty fans look dumb.
It's really amazing that not a single character in this movie has any flaws whatsoever at all.
No,
they just have a different point of view. Literally, Black Panther is Martin Luther King, and Killmonger is Malcolm X.
Everybody has superhuman strength for no reason. The fucking soldier lady, she was able to pogo stick on the spear after her Lexus got blown to pieces.
Yeah,
exactly. Everybody has literal Captain America powers. Why would anybody care about fucking Captain America when there's literally an army of super fucking humans living in the middle of Africa, led by an even superhuman who has a magical suit of armor that can... Tony Stark's fucking suit has to be stored in a briefcase.
No, it doesn't. Not anymore. Not since the Avengers. Remember the Avengers? He jumps off the building.
Yeah, he can get
flies out to him.
He can get it piece by piece. T'Challa's armor can literally be stored in a necklace and come out like nano machines.
Iron Man's just appears out of nowhere now. Remember, it just like slides on him like jelly across toast without a knife.
It does now, but it took him 5 movies to develop that technology.
I mean, the Black Panthers have been doing the technology since ancient times.
T'Challa's necklace isn't even a real necklace. It's a fucking string with 5 teeth attached to it.
And they also
that has the ability to turn into a full-fledged, entirely bulletproof, has the ability to absorb any kinetic energy and reflect it as energy pulses. Like, at least the Iron Man suit requires the fucking arc reactor to work.
No,
it requires... Okay, it did. It required an external energy source. T'Challa's suit is literally fucking magic. Like, there is no technology in the world that can absorb kinetic energy, store it.
Vibranium, motherfucker.
Vibranium is literally...
Vibranium's the magic water. It's the
Vibranium
water,
is like the goddamn Mary Sue. It's like goddamn fucking... The only thing in the universe that could beat Rey from Star Wars is vibranium. It's literally a Mary Sue metal.
Dude,
it's invincible. It can shoot energy beams. It can be sewn into fabric to make Overwatch shields.
One-on-one, Black Panther would easily win because she'd swing the lightsaber at him, which she has perfect lightsaber accuracy, so she would hit.
Yes.
But it would be absorbed by the vibranium,
yeah, and
it would be
shoot
shot back, and it would be over. Good night, you know? So definitely invincible there. But honestly, yes, the CGI was also inconsistent.
Oh yeah.
Where there were points where I was thinking like the suit when they were in the war up top, the suits looked alright. I could tell the suits were CGI. But then when they went to the subway scene just looked horrible because A, the subway looked like nothing that would be seen in real life. It looked like something that would be made in a cartoon. So that on itself looked shitty. B, you're on a green screen making a CGI suit, thus the whole thing was a fucking cartoon with occasional faces keyed in. That's all it was. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. It was a fucking cartoon. It was Star Wars, the Clone Wars, practically.
It was like Code Lyoko, go tier.
So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It looks like shit. And here's my problem. Iron Man's suit in Infinity War looks like shit, at least in the trailers. I'm sure they might be mastering the CGI, so don't yell at me and be like, oh, they're going to master the CGI, just like in 2010 when I said they were going to master Green Lantern's CGI and it'll look a lot better in the final product. It's going to look better. Just like Justice League CGI is going to look better in the final product. You can't just judge CGI based on the trailer or the final movie
when you see it in theaters.
How can you know a movie will be shit
Here's
for
the
the trailers? You gotta pay $8.95 and see the movie in theaters.
2008, there was a movie called Iron Man, and it's CGI Iron Man suit. Literally, its Iron Man suit, which was mostly practical with CGI elements, looked way better than the Infinity War Iron Man suit, which looks blatantly fake. That is my problem. Now, if you had a practical Black Panther suit, which I think would be, there would be problems with filming, it'd be harder to film on the actors, there'd be a lot of technical problems, but it would look so much fucking better in the final product where it actually looked real. And I think they used the practical one at least a little bit in Civil War. Because Civil War looked 100 times better.
Oh yeah.
At least the Black Panther suit specifically. I'm not talking about everything. But if we're just bringing it down there. And I think Spider-Man must have had a practical suit for most of Homecoming. Actually, I know they did because I've seen like some of the behind-the-scenes footage and shit. Spider-Man Homecoming also has a full-body suit. Pretty similar, at least in general design when you think about it. Full body suit, everything's covered. Spider-Man Homecoming's suit looked 50 times better than Black Panther's, at least in the standard form. But Black Panther's suit always kind of looked like shit in this movie, and I know part of it's that it's a mostly black suit.
Yeah.
A lot of CGI backdrops, a lot of animation needed to be made, but just go the practical route, at least slightly, at most of times. But, I don't know, man. Honestly, my problem is this was disappointing. I went in knowing there'd be some cloned elements, but I saw Iron Man again. I understood this was a clone of Iron Man. It was really preachy in order to try to trick you to think their fucking, essentially, Lexus advertisement was anything less than just corporate greed made by a whole bunch of white people to convince a bunch of, black people and liberals. Trick them. They tricked them. And it's really fucking sad. It's not, and I feel bad for the people that actually fell for it, because it's like, you know what? You were tricked. Like when you go home with a chick, you're like, she's pretty hot when I'm drunk, then she whips her dick out. That's pretty much what happened. And then since you're a liberal, you took it in the fucking ass like a bitch. I'm pretty drunk right now, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that if you thought this movie was really that good, and you have any memory of a little movie called Iron Man, then you literally took it in the ass like a bitch. And if you complain that this movie doesn't have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, you were the same cuck that got dildo fucked by Wonder Woman, which was an okay movie, disguised as some sort of Oscar fucking miracle from God. This has the fucking Wonder Woman effect, okay? Wonder Woman was a better movie than this, I'll be honest, which is surprising because it has the DC Expanded Universe shit on it. But Wonder Woman was at least an okay movie, disguised as an excellent movie because vagina. This movie was a very mediocre movie, disguised as some sort of god-tier movie. This movie was beloved more than even Wonder Woman, a feat that I thought was impossible. I thought it was impossible. Yeah. I thought, black people, it's going to be beloved more than the average Marvel movie. But how beloved could it be? But when you're at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, when you're one of the best movies of all time, I'm fucking amazed. I'm thinking, what type of dick riding fucking faggots does it take to get this to 97%? And is it true that 97% of our reviewers that are considered professionals are such dick riders, so paid off, so fucking retarded, don't have their own thoughts, can't remember the movies they report on every fucking week? Because all these reporters only talk about Marvel movies. So you'd think they would have the fucking brain capacity to remember Iron Man. But they don't. I think it's really fucking sad, and I think this movie, deserves to have never been made. I think they deserved, and black people, I think you deserve a superhero. I think you deserve a better superhero, or the same superhero. Just with a movie that actually had care put in it. A movie that was actually maybe, made for everybody. Maybe a movie that wasn't a copy of Iron Man. Maybe a movie that was made by black people and not Kevin Feige in his pasty-ass boardroom. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. You know, maybe you would have had that 100% right now instead of 97. Dick riding percent. So, Aiden, would you recommend this movie?
I'm not even going to deal with the recommendation. People are going to see this shit anyway. I personally would not see it. What I would recommend is not politicizing movies. Every movie nowadays has to be political. You didn't like Ghostbusters, you're a fucking sexist. You didn't like this
nobody
crap,
liked Ghostbusters. It was hard to even pretend with that one.
It got certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. People dick sucked it because it had women in it.
Yeah.
It didn't get dick sucked as hard as this because
it stayed alive.
Ghostbusters was so objectively terrible that people had to try a lot harder to pretend it was good.
At least
but people did pretend it was good.
If you disregard Iron Man, Black Panther would be a good movie. If Iron Man and Ant-Man never existed, I could see where it would be considered a good movie. But anyway, you get dick ride points. So I understand where you're coming from. Okay.
People are going to politicize. Every fucking movie has to be political. Back in fucking 1999, 2000, whatever the fuck, when Blade came out, people weren't like, "Oh, a black superhero, that's so progressive." People said, "Wow, this is a movie about a guy killing vampires. That's fucking cool. It's a Matrix ripoff, but he's a vampire. That's fucking cool." Or Blade's a vampire, right?
Blade is a half vampire that hunts vampires.
You know, back when fucking Alien came out in 1983, people weren't like, "Wow, so progressive, strong female character." They were like, "Oh, this is a movie about a fucking alien eating people in space. That's fucking cool." There's literally dozens and dozens of amazing female characters in movies that get overshadowed by Wonder Woman because it's fucking cape shit. People put so much they love fucking cape shit. It doesn't matter how fucking crappy it is. Suicide Squad made fucking millions of dollars. Literally, people act like any single thing that happens in cape shit is the most revolutionary shit ever, and I'm only going to refer to superhero movies as cape shit from now on. I always thought cape shit was a dumb meme, but Black Panther solidified that this is nothing but cape shit. People, every single thing that happens, Wonder Woman comes out, you know how many fucking female-led movies there have been that are just fucking fantastic? Like, you know how many fucking movies there have been that are led by black people that are fucking fantastic? People act like this is some sort of revolution, like there's never been a movie starring a fucking black person before, like fucking goddamn Men in Black didn't exist, like Blade didn't exist, like fucking...
Yeah, people said... I love how many articles I read that are like, this is the first black Marvel superhero movie. Even though the reason Marvel, the fucking company Marvel exists today because of Blade.
Yep.
If they didn't sell the rights to Blade and it happened to take off, Marvel was going under. They were about to go bankrupt. They were at the point where it was gonna be fucking, they were gonna be fucking gone. They probably would have got sold to like Michael Jackson or something, because Michael Jackson was in bids to buy this shit. And then, like, Blade came along and it saved their fucking ass from somebody like Nicolas Cage or fucking Michael Jackson owning because that's totally what would have happened.
Oh yeah,
somebody
Michael Jackson wanted to make his own musical
and
Spider-Man starring himself.
They would have tanked it.
But, fuck. Everybody has to politicize everything. A movie can't just be a fucking movie. Movies are marketed politically. They're fucking shilled politically. They're reviewed politically. A movie doesn't have to be a fucking statement. A movie about a fucking guy who wears super magic meteor armor that can deflect bullets doesn't have to be a goddamn statement about how much you hate Donald Trump. You can make a fucking movie and just have it be a fucking movie. Movies aren't even movies anymore. They're fucking propaganda machines designed to sell fucking products to fucking retarded man children and new males because it's all so fucking dumb. People will never... Movies are a dead genre simply because it's easier to just make a piece of shit movie like Black Panther and say that anyone who doesn't like it is a racist so that people feel obligated to like it. So no, in the longest way possible, I would not recommend Black Panther. I would recommend you dig up your old Iron Man DVD, watch it again, and pretend that Tony Stark's skin is black because you get a better experience. You don't have to coddle black people. You don't have to fucking politicize a black superhero. It can just be a movie that happens to have a fucking black guy in it. It doesn't have to be this social fucking commentary bullshit. It's so fucking annoying. I'm so fucking sick of this stupid shit. I recommend that you never see another movie in theaters again. You pirate movies that were made before the year 2010, and you pretend that a meteor struck the earth and struck Hollywood and killed every fucking rapist, pedophile, fucking Dan Schneider, Harvey Weinstein fuck that makes these stupid fucking movies. And you just enjoy movies from a time when movies were art and not fucking machines designed to sell fucking stupid plastic toys. Connor, would you recommend the fucking stupid fuck political cancer movie?
I've owned this movie on DVD for over a decade, so I was kind of confused why I spent $9 to watch this movie in uncalibrated 3D. But no, I wouldn't recommend this movie. I would recommend you dig up your old Iron Man DVD because obviously 97% of critics are so brain dead retarded that they forgot about the movie. Basic plot is that an evil man tries to take over something that one man has built, and that they end up fighting in the same costume. They have the same powers. See, I said this in my video I made yesterday. I said that Marvel Studios understands that the art, and not just Marvel Studios, I don't want to single them out, because all studios understand the art of being creative is really fucking overrated. Because me as an audience member, I don't care about creativity. I want the same shit put into my brain. I want to witness the same shit that goes into my brain as I slurp down my large fucking Pepsi Cola and eat large amounts of popcorn, literally sitting in this seat becoming morbidly obese as I watch the same bullshit I watched last year. But I'm so brain dead because, you know, I'm a fucking, I like reviewing movies, so obviously that makes me fucking brain dead. So I just like watching the same shit. If it's something I've witnessed before and I witness it again, but this time with a new, you know, a new twist. It's a black person. It twists my brain and I think, if anybody dislikes this movie, I'm gonna fucking murder them. No, but if I'm being serious, don't watch this movie. Dig up Iron Man. I think I could just say that about every Marvel Studios movie pretty much. Like, oh yeah, you know, this movie was somewhat tolerable to watch, but it's fucking retarded. I don't want to watch it ever again. Dig up Iron Man.
It's like,
that's gonna be like my new catchphrase. Actually, it's not a new catchphrase. It's a catchphrase I've been saying since like Iron Man 3. Dig up Iron Man.
Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Winter Soldier was good.
Winter Soldier.
I liked the first Captain America. The first Avengers is passable. I'm just talking passable ones right now. Ones that are actually
I would skip Avengers.
Maybe
as far as movies that are actually fully original enough.
And Homecoming.
Iron Man, Homecoming, Captain America 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and
Captain America 2.
And Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was good.
Damn, the Captain America... Oh, I was going to say the Captain America series is good, and then I remember...
Then Civil War. Captain America is probably the best series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well...
God, Civil War is
yes.
so fucking bad.
Because Iron Man 2, I kind of like Iron Man 2, even though it's kind of just like recycled bullshit. But Iron Man 3 is so bad that it pretty much pulls... You know, Iron Man 2 is good enough, and then Iron Man 3 is so butt fucking retarded that it just pulls Iron Man 2 down. So Iron Man.
If I have to give Black Panther compliment though, still better than Thor 2.
Still better than Thor 2.
Success.
Maybe Thor 2 should have just made evil Thor man show up. And that would have probably made it
Beta Ray Bill.
Fucking.
Except they make Beta Ray Bill not have a horse head.
Dude, literally all I remember is that the entire time watching that movie, well, there was a point where two broke girls and Natalie Portman were like teleporting or
they
something.
They went through the portals in the parking garage.
And then I remember the villain felt like a Power Ranger villain to me.
Yeah, because he was the ice giant, and he was like all blue.
And he had his makeup. His makeup looked so shitty that it looked like it was on the. Like,
and then Loki died, and they're like, psych! And then Loki died again, they're like, psych! And then Loki died again,
Loki
like,
died every fucking movie he showed up in. I've seen Thor Ragnarok like 3 times, because I was fucking like, you fell asleep one time, and for some reason our friends wanted to watch it or something, so I've seen Thor Ragnarok 3 times, pirated it every time, never seen it in the theaters, I'm gonna be real.
Pirated this half Spanish audio version.
But obviously this is just a joke, you know what I'm saying? I paid for the ticket all 3 times. I definitely paid for the ticket every time.
Hey, how about you show us your ID? You're 21, right?
Yeah, I mean, I am. But I paid for the ticket every time. And I cannot tell you if Loki survived Thor Ragnarok. I remember he was tased.
No, they faked out his death, and then immediately he stands back up and says, "You think I'm dead?" And then at the end of the movie, he joins Thanos.
What? He joins Thanos? That's
because they're in the spaceship.
I like how you remember these fucking cape shit.
Thor only has one eye, and he's like, do. And then Thanos pulls up, and Thanos is like, I'm gonna kill your ass.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I read Batman Nightwing because I'm a fanboy. Amazing Spider-Man because I'm a fanboy. The only comic I genuinely like right now is Spider-Man with Brian Michael Bendis, but that's going away, so... just gonna be fanboying it from now on. And reading old
anyway.
You know what's a good idea? Instead of watching this crappy movie, maybe you should pick up a book and fucking read some of the good comics. I can suggest Killing Joke is always a classic. Year One Batman, Ultimate Spider-Man, that whole series is good. You know, 2012 Hawkeye series is pretty good. Pokemon manga is pretty good. I've heard One Piece is pretty good.
One Piece.
So there's some shit you can read. Maybe you should
Kaiji
actually.
Ultimate Survivor.
You know, it's a lot harder to become a morbidly obese popcorn eating fuck if you actually like read once in a while instead of just watching crap.
Yeah, we're not morbidly obese. We're just.
I mean, I'm not
slightly
saying
overweight.
I'm the fucking. Yeah, that's because I read, bitch.
Thanks, books.
Thanks, books.
Thanks, hentai manga.
Thanks.
Hentai manga saved my life. This is my masturbation hand. Well, anyway, yeah, thanks for watching our thing. We have a contest going on right now, 500 subs, and we're giving something away. 420 subs, and we'll review the Evil Bond series, every movie.
No.
So
that's not the problem.
Hit those motherfucking 420 buttons.
We're
share with your friends.
Away.
Post on Twitter.
Unless we've hit 420 at this point, or
share our link to your
lost a bunch of subscribers.
MySpace.
This happens.
Share your link to your MySpace,
We go on
your LinkedIn. Post a link to this video
dying.
on LinkedIn. Post a link to this
Dude,
video.
This video's
on
a fucking hour long.
Your
It's
fucking
getting cut.